What's up? What's up, everybody? We are back. It's second week. Mrs. B's right here with me, and it's date night with Mr. and Mrs. B.
Mrs. B in the house.
What's up, everybody? Hopefully, everybody had an awesome week. We did. We did. We had a lot of great things happen this week. Um, but I was when this idea of this episode came up, I kind of struggled with it because I'm going to give you forewarning. Um, a lot of people get emotional, will probably get emotional over this subject, and then there's some people that's going to be like, "Yeah, you're right." So we're going to dive right in, okay? So, um, what you think and feel versus what you actually know. Now, what are we talking about with that? Um, this is happening a lot in our society lately, not just within relationships, but all around us, right? How many times you might see an interview on television, or you're speaking to someone and they're going, "Well, I think this," or "I feel this." Now, people who are in our circle, they're probably really familiar with this because I challenge people sometimes when we go head to head about something. I will ask the question, "And how do you know this for a fact?"
He does that to me.
Like I said, pretty much everybody in our circle.
And then
Uh,
my answer is I know like I know.
See what I told you about how some people gonna probably get a little bit defensive about this, but let's go through this, and we're gonna start off in a relationship, the intimate relationship, and then we'll go off into other areas where people think and feel versus what they actually know. Okay, so this is the part, and I encourage you to stick around because don't turn off after you hear this. Okay, so in within a relationship, okay, you have a situation where women or guys could think or feel certain things.
It's called intuition.
That's what Mrs. B challenged me on, and I'll get to that. So I want for her to
Yes.
bring up that objection again.
Get to that.
I want for her to bring up that objection, but I also want to make sure that we understand those settings, right? So let's just take uh let's just take an imaginary couple, okay? Because of course nobody will want to own up to this, right? Let's take an imaginary couple, and we'll take the guy. The guy thinks or feels that because the wife is not paying too much attention to him, that he thinks or feels that she might be having an affair. And he decides to act on that, a thought or a feeling, right? Now, he can say, "I just have this gut feeling that I swear, like, I know something is odd or is off." But then he starts treating it like he actually knows this is going on. And he may take the time to start going through her emails, her phone, trying to look at her text, trying to find evidence that she is doing him some dirt behind his back based on a feeling or a thought, right? What we think or what we feel. And many times in all other types of relationships, we tend to act on things. And sometimes in just mere conversations, look, we've even noticed it even with people who are professionals in their industry talking, and they will say, "Well, I think or I feel." Now, nobody's telling you not to think or feel. That's the first thing. But definitely know the difference between what you think and feel and versus what you actually know. What you know is something that you can back up with, you know, evidence
Mm-hmm.
of it. Okay? So, that being said, and it has to be solid evidence. So, now Mrs. B can talk about the when it comes to the females. when the females talk about, okay, well, I think or I feel this is going on with my man or my partner, okay? And she brought up the topic, well, what about women's intuition?
Mm-hmm.
So my response to that was,
So, and I'll tell you why. Excuse me for just a moment.
here we go, folks.
I gotta be devil's advocate. I'm just saying, because you know what? There's a lot of women who think this same way. So I want to put it
She
out
got
there.
your backs, ladies.
No, I do. However, sometimes I think it's BS, and I'll tell you why. Because you guys see a lot of shows. For example, Jerry Springer. Okay, for example, let's just say Jerry Springer, or who's the guy that does the Maury. Okay. And on every single one of those shows, there's always some sort of drama. Okay. And there's that one individual, a girlfriend that wants to take her boyfriend there because she thinks her man is cheating on him. Okay. She hasn't seen it with her own two eyes, but she's got that feeling. Why? Because he ain't.
I'm just laughing at this one.
He's not laughing. He's not sleeping with her. He's not giving her the nookie. Right? Come home's late. All this kind of stuff. Right? And I'm just talking about the things that happen that we see in our face. Okay? And if you approach your man, now, ladies, if you approach your man to a sense, that you're going to get into an argument, then all day long they're going to sit there and deny it. It is true. Because in the past, that has happened to me. And I say that with experience. However, in the end, it ends up being true.
Well,
and I say that because when you start dating somebody or you're with someone and that individual does certain things for you and then all of a sudden it stops, you wonder why. Now, why do you not have a conversation with your boyfriend or your partner, whoever, and ask them, hey, you know what, I've been sensing something is off, or I've been sensing you haven't been doing this, or things that we used to do together. Okay. Now, instead of, and you could say as well, instead of me wanting to go to that bad place and think that you're doing some dirt behind me, right? Because you all think it, okay? You might as well ask.
Right.
Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Because we do talk about having, what is it?
What's that?
Communication.
Right. So, yes, Mrs. B is correct on all those points. So I told you this would be something, and she did say that she's going to play devil's advocate in this situation. So here's how that pans out. Before we go into what we actually know versus what we think and feel. Now, you can make any situation be actually what you think it is. You can see exactly what you want to see if you go looking for it. Now, yes, I know some of you women that might have had a guy that cheated on you, that might have ended a relationship. You're saying, Mr. B, you're full of crap right about now. I'm not trying to hear that, because when I thought and I felt it or whatever.
It was true.
Right? And I you know what? Yes, there are those instances where it's true. But you don't want to take those situations where you might have thought or felt something and think that is going to apply every single time.
No, absolutely not.
And
I agree with that.
There's times where people go off because here's when I thought and felt this, and it actually turned out to be true. So now I'm going to give my intuition all the power over me.
Yeah.
And your intuition can be nurtured a certain way. And if you keep feeding in certain things into it, it's going to keep attracting certain things your way, right? Now, when those things happen, it's all well and fine to say my thoughts and my feelings created this situations. Here's how it created that situation. Because it takes two people to be in a relationship. And it also takes two people to break up. And believe it or not, when one person is unfaithful, it's really both people that happen to get to that. And I know I can see you guys ready to turn it off right now and say, I'm done listening to this guy. Hear me out, okay? When we talked about someone got cheated on, okay? And this is another episode. We're actually going to dive deeper into this in another episode because I want to address the emotional aspect of it, okay? Let's try to take emotion out of it, right? You're with your girlfriends or with your buddies or whatever. Your girl cheated on you, and of course you want to call her, she's a this, she's a that. You want to call her every name under the book. Or your guy cheated on you, he's a this, he's a that, he's everything under the book. And when you go to your friends, you go to them for support so that they can side with you and say, yes, let's have a man hating party or a partner hating party, okay? And we just keep bashing him, right? Real friends would say, what it is you didn't do to make him seek something someplace else. Now, that's a harsh truth that all of us have to face.
And sometimes that may not be the case. Sometimes, and I'm going to say this, sometimes it's just a man that wants to go out and cheat because he just feels like it.
See now what Mrs. B's talking about right there is the emotional aspect of it. However,
but it is true though. There are men or women who end up doing that. No matter what relationship they're in, they always end up cheating. Now tell me, why do they do that?
Thanks for the emotional aspect of it. Now
let's get emotion. I'm asking a question.
Let's get emotion out of it. So, what does the title of the book say? The title of the book says, every woman wants 4 men, every man wants 2 women. Okay? The bottom line is, if you're not getting that, now you might be a chronic person that you keep attracting the people who are not the complete package.
Okay.
So you always seek it someplace else, or you always partner up with some. So let's look at the men.
So then,
let's look at the men.
No, hold on a second. If you're attracting that, and that's what you constantly keep cycling, let's just be honest about that. Don't you think for a moment that you're gonna stop and look at yourself in the mirror?
Absolutely.
Right.
And what do we talk about most in most of our episodes? It starts with your self-love and getting to know yourself. However, the fact remains that every woman wants 4 men: father figure, best friend, handyman, mandingo lover. And she might put up with the man that is only 2 of those 4 men. However, it's just going to be a matter of time before she either sees someone with the whole package and he's going to seem more attractive to her. Or on the men, we want a lady in the street and a freak in the sheets. And our lady might be the perfect lady in the street. She's a perfect mother to our children. We can go out with her. She's a perfect eye candy and all that stuff. But she may not be really the freak in the sheet. Meaning she's really not getting into our heads and actually seducing our minds as well as our body. Okay? We've known, and I've coached many couples where the woman is like, okay, in her mind, freaking the sheets is just giving it up. Now she's tired at night or whatever, and she just rolls over and turns to the side and says, just go ahead and take it. That is nothing romantic in that. You're not seducing my mind in that situation. So if the minute a woman gets into his head, he's going to stray. Now, he may be always looking for that woman that's the lady in the streets, the lady in the streets, and not really qualifying, which we did that episode before about qualifying your partner, not qualifying her that she's both the lady in the street and a freak in the sheets or a freak in the bed, right? And that she knows how to get into his head. He settles many times for the one part of the package and not the full package. And vice versa. Sometimes women settle for part of the package and not the whole package. So, what's going to happen down the line? You think that you want that, but you find that you're not feeling fulfilled. The whole bottom portion of the book, every woman wants 4 men, every man wants 2 women, a guide to a lasting, fulfilling relationship. And that's what we want to talk about, is what fulfillment means. So now that we got off that part of with the emotional aspect, and I told you guys this was gonna be a doozy one, but but I appreciate Mrs. B for playing devil's advocate and actually speaking the voice of what we've heard many women reflect on whenever we get on this emotional topic, but what we feel and think versus what we actually know. Okay, and yes, sometimes it, what you feel and think coincides with what you never really knew, right? But let's look at that. Now let's look at any other relationship, any other situation where people talk like they know what they're talking about and they really don't. You hear you actually hear the words, I think or I feel, right? And that cannot be taken as a fact because it's there's nothing to support it. Now, yes, when it comes to the relationship, some women will go out and try to play private detective and try to get the facts so that they can prove, but you're only making yourself look that crazy. And my thing is this: if you got to put that much energy to catch your partner doing some dirt, that's the wrong person for you.
Yeah, because you know what? You should be taking that energy and putting it into your relationship and making it better every day.
Yourself first.
Yes, yourself first. And here's the way that I look at it. If you have those uncomfortable feelings, you know what I'm talking about, ladies. I'm telling you this because I've been there, done that BS, okay? That like your insides want to come out of how upset you are because you just foresee this or you just know. Then why are you with that individual? And I mean, and you're constantly fighting, you're constantly getting into it with this person. And you know what? You're just making things worse even for yourself. I mean, your relationship is not going to get any stronger because all you're doing is pointing the finger all the time, And I think we made that comment, right? When you point the finger, you got to look at three more pointing back at you. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that it's you personally. I'm just saying in general that there should be no time ever in your life that you will allow anybody or yourself to get to that level where you are so uncomfortable that you are so unhappy with yourself, and then honestly you're going to be unhappy for the rest of your life.
Yeah. So on that note, here's what you should know. Here's what we should know. So in Mrs. B and myself situation, I know, I don't think or feel, I know that I'm the four men. I know I'm a good man. I know I'm a good catch. I know what I'm bringing into this relationship. I know that we're in this relationship together. It's not a one-sided relationship. Now, not everybody's going to have that. Some people do have that one-sided relationship where it's just one person working on making it work. That's never going to end well. Both people, it's a partnership for a reason. So both people have to be in. Start with what you know within your relationships and then build from that. And when you don't know, find the answer together. Work together as a team.
Yeah.
And you will turn that thing around. And always ask yourself that question when even in conversations, when you hear those words mentioned, I think or I feel, then you take it with a grain of salt. You basically ask, well, but do you know this for a fact? Or how do you know? And then you can find the answer together. Don't get into an argument over it. Just find the answer so that you actually know, or both of you get to know something instead of thinking or feeling. And it happens in so many different aspects of relationship. We're not just talking about the intimate aspects, but so many other areas we think or feel. And that's where sometimes coaching comes along. So once again, we knew this was going to be a tough conversation, but sometimes the tough conversations are we need to have those conversations.
And don't think for a minute that Mr. B and I do not have tough conversations.
Yes, we do. But we do it with a smile. So on that note, folks, Mrs. B is going to tell you what?
Love up on each other.
Yes, indeed. And we'll see you next weekend, which is Memorial Day weekend, right?
Actually, we're
No, it's 2 weeks again to go. Okay.
okay.
I'm jumping the gun.
No, it is next
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
It
it's
is
the
next weekend. It is.
There you go.
Memorial Day weekend. Yes.
So enjoy your weekend, everyone. Hydrate, stay cool. Those of you folks that's here in Florida, and we'll see you next week. Take care.